by dances, sketches, and presentations that showcase the power of theater art. Our reporter, Natalie Njoma, spoke to some actors, producers, and directors and put together this report for Royal TV News.
The day, initiated by the International Theatre Institute in 1961, seeks to highlight the importance of theatre across the world, as well as reiterating the fact that the stage remains a place where individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds can reflect on their shared humanity. The day is commemorated to showcase culture through acting, as highlighted by the director of Royal Movies, Levis Klinsmann.
We commemorate this day because it's important to show to the world through theater expression of pain, emotions, love, the culture. Most importantly, we use theater to demonstrate, to show to the world what we feel within us, out there, to rebrand ourselves. Theater Day is a day we should put into consideration every single time we have to celebrate. We have to make sure we preserve certain cultures through theater.
According to Mulango Zani, an international movie actor, theater is more than just entertainment. It is a mirror to society, reflecting our emotions, experiences, and challenges. It brings people together, inspires creativity, and provides a platform for self-expression.
Talking about World Theatre Day, of course, it started in it was instituted in 1961, and today we are celebrating World Theatre Day. We could also say this is all about performing art, and this is, I would say, the basis of filmmaking that has evolved today. Back in the days when we were still growing up, we used to do what we call drama, in schools, in churches. So we've evolved over time. Now we can use theater as a platform to vehiculate our messages. It's also a platform that we can use to tell our stories. Through storytelling, we can equally pass through messages using theater. So even though a lot of people are not giving the relevance of theater nowadays, but I think that it's still very important, and these are the bases from which we grew up from when we were still very small.
According to theater experts, theater has always been more than just a show, as it is both a megaphone and a mirror that reflects society's challenges back to their society. It allows individuals to see life struggles and joys on the stage. At the same time, it acts as a megaphone for marginalized voices, bringing stories to the forefront that might otherwise go unheard. In Boya, over the years, theater has gained a significant space as there has been an increase in the production and publishing of movies, poems, and stage acts that do not only entertain but inform and educate on pertinent societal issues. It is worth noting that the World Theatre Day celebrates the ancient acts of performing art from not just an entertainment, but as a vital force for connection, empathy, and truth. This year's International Theatre Day is commemorated on the theme Theatre and the Culture of Peace.
I think this is a very timely theme that should tell us that we should use the theme of today to be able to preach peace through theater, through performing arts. So I would say, on a personal note, this theme is of the time, is of the moment.
Meantime, as Cameroon joins the rest of the globe to commemorate the World Theatre Day, experts have affirmed that theatre has the power to unite people across languages and borders as it helps persons navigate a complex world.
Many thanks, Natalie Njoma. Dear viewers, let's revisit the story where little Polly Flinders Boya has visited Royal Television during an excursion exercise with Class 5 and 6 pupils of both Little Polly Flinders Wonya in Mongo Street 8 and Little Polly Flinders in Moliko Boya, Southwest Region. Honorin Cheng says the learners today and leaders tomorrow expressed excitement for the opportunity and thanks the Royal Television team, which represents a new vision of Africa, for their hospitality. Details in the following report.
Nurturing excellence. Royal TV, the new vision of Africa. Pupils and the teachers of Little Polyflinders, Wonya Emongo Boya, have paid a visit to Royal Television, Boya. They recently came during an excursion exercise not just to know how a television station operates, but to touch on the ground other technicalities related to news production, programming, editing, and much more. Frida Navuma, editor-in-chief at Royal Television, schooled them on news writing principles, the ABC of news, news qualities, and who a news presenter is, not leaving out what backpack journalism means.
And when writing news, when presenting, when giving out the news to the public, we have the ABC. The news has to be accurate. That's the truth that you want to hear. It has to be balanced.
The head teacher of Little Polyflinders, Boya, not only thanked Royal Television for the opportunity, but encouraged her pupils to embrace the journalism career.
We are very grateful because everything that we have been seeing on television and thinking that it's something that is happening, I don't know whether it's in America or whatsoever, we have seen it live. So we have learned a lot. There's one thing that I've learned here today, the ABC of broadcasting. That broadcasting is supposed to be accurate, balanced, and have clarity.
With so much said and done, the pupils are not only going back refreshed with newfound knowledge, but excited to be part of this life-transforming maiden visit to Royal Television, Boya, which is the new vision of Africa.
I've learned about backpack journalists, that they send them to different sides of Cameroon to complete their settling mission. I've learned that the device that they use to plug the camera also helps to carry out the things in the mix machine.
A host of these learners have expressed gratitude for the learning experience as these Class 5 pupils presented the live news broadcast.
I feel happy, and I've learned that little children too can become broadcasters and journalists. I was excited, and I will tell the whole father that I've become a journalist. I learned that there's a broadcaster room that they used to arrange the news that they do down in the studio.
In the days ahead, Little Polyflinders and the Royal Television will strike a partnership deal, it is hoped, as a children's program is in the pipeline on Kitoko Kids Royal Television.
Thank you for welcoming us and teaching us the important work you do. So as you all know, water keeps us healthy, hydrated. As a sign of appreciation, we want to give you this water. Please receive it with gratitude and love. Thank you.
Elements of the Limbe Naval Base have confiscated a huge amount of illicit drugs amounting to over 50 million francs CFA. The team, led by Navy Captain Eric Akutuo-Landry, in collaboration with custom officials, seized these illegal drugs recently at the Bota port in Limbe. Natalie Njuma has the details.
Seized products containing illicit drugs believed to be from neighboring country Nigeria comprised sex enhancement products, Botox and breast enlargement drugs, vitamins and body sprays. According to Navy Captain Dr. Oko Petize Dingele, Chief Medical Officer of the Limbe Naval Base and coordinator of the fight against drugs and illegal traffic of medical products in the Navy, the drugs are not only harmful to the human body but poses a serious threat to the well-being of the society.
This evaluation, this drug will be handed to the Ministry of Public Health and kept by the customs. After keeping by the customs, the drug will be destroyed by the commissions made by the divisional official, the sub-divisional official of the faculty.
Health officials who were informed about the seizure answered present at the scene and took stock of the confiscated drugs, examined them, as well as carried out further investigations on the composition of the drugs before handing them over to the authorities for destruction. A thorough investigation by the various actors, a commission has been put in place by the Senior Divisional Officer for FACO, Viang Mekala, to oversee the discarding of these fake products. It is important to note that this is not the first time contraband products in the likes of illicit drugs and the non-biodegradable plastics have been seized at the Bota Port in the seaside resort town of Limbe by military and the custom officials.
Many thanks, Natalie Njima. And onto this sad page, Folit Ziran, one-time broadcaster with the state media, has passed away, leaving his community in deep shock and mourning. News of his death broke suddenly, triggering widespread reactions from those who know him. Though still an emerging figure, his presence had begun to resonate within local circles. His passing on now leaves a void marked by grief and unanswered questions. Details with Claudia Kusona.
The sudden death of Folit Ziran has sparked an outpouring of grief, with many expressing disbelief and sadness at the loss. Born Veritin Adrian Tafen, the Cameroonian entertainment icon reportedly passed away at the age of 68 after prolonged illnesses, marking the end of a remarkable journey in the country's media landscape. Widely recognized as a popular host on CRTV, Ziran became a household name through beloved programs such as Daily and Tam Tam Weekend, where his charisma and unique style left a lasting impression on generations of viewers. Though not widely known on the international stage, his impact within Cameroon was found as he carved out a respected place in the hearts of many.
Délire, hein? Originaire du Gabon, il n'y en a pas eu beaucoup. Et elle s'appelle Ariel T. Elle chante La Veuve Ariel T.
Friends, colleagues, and community members have taken to various platforms to pay tribute, describing him as a dedicated and impactful figure whose contributions to entertainment and culture were significant. His passing leaves a noticeable void, with many reflecting not only on his legacy but also on the memories he created through television.
Qu'on applaudit très fort s'il vous plaît, James Blunt. Et à côté de moi, vous l'avez vu dans Délire, il n'y a pas longtemps.
As details surrounding his death continue to emerge, attention is turning towards honoring his life and celebrating his contributions. His legacy, deeply rooted in Cameroonian media history, is expected to endure through the memories of those who grew up watching and admiring his works.
Dear viewers, this is News Hour you're listening to on Royal Television. We want to take you now out of the country. We start with the DR Congo, where attacks on journalists are rising in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo as insecurity and armed conflict expose media workers to growing threats, arrest, and intimidation. Plus, heavy overnight rains have lashed Dubai, triggering flash floods that have disrupted traffic and caused delays and cancellations of flights, with authorities working to restore normalcy. Details with Nanga Sonia.
Journalists in the Democratic Republic of the Congo are facing mounting threats as conflict intensifies in the east. The group warns the country has become one of the most dangerous places for media workers in Africa's Great Lakes region. RSF says reporters are increasingly trapped between the M23 rebels and the FARDC, with both sides exerting pressure. Since M23 seized key eastern cities in 2025, journalists report drastic changes in how they work, including fear of reprisals, arrest, and forced compliance. Around 500 journalists have been arrested over the past decade. Many detentions last months or even years. Some journalists have been held in harsh conditions, including overcrowded makeshift prisons controlled by M23. Authorities and armed groups alike are accused of restricting media freedom in the country. RSF says the High Council for Audiovisual and Communication has tightened control over war coverage, while M23 has censored broadcast and imposed messaging. Meanwhile, nearly 90 journalists have fled violence in eastern provinces since 2023, underscoring a rapidly deteriorating environment for independent reporting. The UN passed a resolution on Wednesday to recognize the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. The decision was welcomed across West Africa and also at the African Union. This is a historic moment after the United Nations designated the African slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. The UN resolution was celebrated across West African countries such as Benin, Togo, and Ghana, the initiating country for the resolution. West Africa was the main part of Africa affected by the transatlantic slave trade in the years ago. The region was a hunting ground for slave merchants, and ships filled with slaves sailed towards the Americas from ports like Uda and Lagos. The resolution was also welcomed at the transnational level by the African Union. In a statement, it commended Ghana for its initiative and say, this historic decision marks an important step towards truth, justice, and healing, and reinforces the urgent need to address the enduring legacy of slavery. The AUC chairperson reiterated call for comprehensive acknowledgement of the historical and contemporary impacts of slavery, including the pursuit of reparative justice. The United Arab Emirates was hit by another burst of heavy rain overnight into Friday, flooding roads across Dubai and forcing police, pumping crews, and recovery vehicles onto the streets before dawn. In several districts, water-covered junctions, service roads, and underpasses, leaving some motorists stranded and others abandoning their cars. The flooding disrupted the morning commute in one of the Gulf's busiest cities and again exposed how vulnerable low-lying urban roads can be when intense storms hit the desert metropolis. Authorities across the United Arab Emirates have issued repeated weather warnings this week, and unstable conditions spread across the country ahead of the summer heat. Reports on Friday say rain and storm activity could continue in part of the UAE, while Dubai airport warned travelers to expect possible delays. Scientists and forecasters say such episodes remain unusual but are becoming harder to dismiss as one-off events, with short, violent downpours increasingly testing drainage systems, transport links, and emergency response capacity.
On to sports, the indomitable Lions of Cameroon have been defeated by Australia 1-0 at the Accor Stadium in Sydney. The game, counting for the FIFA Match Series tournament, saw Australia dominate the game and secured 3 points. Goni Sonita watched the game and now recounts.
Caught Mobile looking for Irankunda, the pace. Irankunda's shot saved by a passy.
The late goal of the game was scored at 85 minutes of play by Australian Jordan Boss to put Australia ahead of the encounter.
Irankunda. O'Connex, a good ball into feed. Oh, it's opened up! And Jordy Boss makes no mistake. Clinical finish.
Despite missing a penalty saved by goalkeeper David Epasi, Australia did not let their guards down.
It's a clip, isn't it? Yeah. Let's have a look. Penalty it is. The Cameroonians are not happy. That's saved by Epasi. It's a great save. Low to his left.
Dominated by their opponent, Cameroon failed to create the difference despite their effort. Indomitable Lions of Cameroon will now face China on March 31st, counting for the 2026 FIFA Series tournament.
It on, as it was before it even started, that we went down. Referee though, whistle in the mouth. 5 minutes will do it. The Socceroos victorious.
Still in sports, Super Sport or Summer Sport Academy scored a hard-fought 3-2 victory over Option Sport Academy on March Day 3 of the Southwest Regional League football. The encounter, played at the Moliko Omnisport Stadium, delivered intensity and attacking football. Both sides exchanged goals in a tightly contested battle from start to finish. Summer Sports Academy ultimately held their nerve to claim all 3 points in a dramatic contest. Kusana Claudia has the details.
Summer Sports Academy drew first blood in the 22nd minute through Vince Ako, but their lead was short-lived as Marvel Akiambom equalized just 3 minutes later for Option Sports Academy. The first half ended in favor of Summer Sports Academy as Tenaze Karika found the net in the 45th minute to make it 2-1. Option Sports returned from the break with renewed and renowned energy and leveled the score once again in the 53rd minute through Lyonga Shone. With the game finally paused, Ndim Apares stepped up from the bench in the 73rd minute to score what proved to be the decisive goal for Summer Sports Academy. Despite late pressure from Option Sports, Summer managed to hold on and secure an important victory in front of their home supporters.
Yeah, the game of today has actually motivated us as we have this win. The intensity of the game, the way I want them to intensify their games is not yet achieved. Grace of God, when they come out, we'll try to fit in the right players and the right position. Well, the game of today, it was a difficult one as Option to is a tough side. They also needed a victory. But at the end, in the second half, we picked over the game. We lost some scoring chances, and by the grace of God again, we are able to make 3 goals today.
On the other hand, the coach of Option Sports expressed disappointment with the results. Despite acknowledging his team's effort, he pointed out lapses in concentration at key moments and remained optimistic, insisting that the performance showed promise ahead of upcoming fixtures.
It was a very good game for me. It was a bad game. The guys played the ball and the two teams, it was a good game. But at the end, Summer get the victory. We'll go and prepare more, come back strong the next game. Summer was prepared for the game. I hope kudos for them. They get the team well. They'll prepare for the return match again. We'll go and prepare more. The league is long. This is the first round. We will prepare more. I hope that you will be about the picture of our group.
The result ultimately highlights Summer Sports Academy's clinical urge in decisive moments, while Options will take positives from the competitive display despite the defeat. As the Southwest Regional Football League progresses, both sides are expected to build on their performance, with Summer Sports Academy aiming to maintain momentum and Option Sports Academy focused on turning strong performances into results.
And still in sports, known to be the club with the most goals conceded last football season, Manu FC is changing the narratives after a hard-fought 1 point grabbed against Boya City. The team now has 2 points in 2 games played. Ngoni Sonita watched the game at the Moliko Omnisport Stadium and now reports.
Match day 3 of the Southwest Regional League saw Boya City split points with Manu Football Academy at the Moliko Omnisport Stadium yesterday, March 26, 2026.
Attest that Manu FC, without no disrespect, has been in the Regional League before Boya City. Yeah, it was unfortunate that we normally we played against a very formidable side. And my boys, as were instructed to play at the medium, they went and play high. That is why we were unable to defend.
Could anything have to do with fatigue or?
Certainly, barely 3 days from the last game, and we usually train twice a day. The guys observe fatigue. The risk to substitute earlier because I wanted to go. We were supposed to grab all the 3 points, but unfortunately, Manu FC was a very formidable side. They defended to the latter.
Manu, who just came from another draw, being a point was important, But equally, they failed to capitalize on their biggest opportunity as they missed a penalty.
Miss a penalty, so I need to go back to my drawing board. We are having some issue with players, so we are forced to do defensive than doing more of attack. Yeah. But when the lights will be out, I believe our players will make it.
And yes, it's over here for the first game of the Southwest Regional League, counting from match day 3, where we had the likes of Boya City that split the points here with Manu. Mind you, this is the second point for Manu grabbed in 3 games where match day 2 they were exempted. And yes, this is the Manu that picked up to 18 in 9 goals of last football season. And this season they have proven that they are changing the narratives in terms of goals conceding, and we are hoping that as the season gets finished, maybe Manu will be able to pick up at least 3 points in 1 game.
The Bamenda Airport has passed a crucial test flight ahead of Pope Leo XVI's visit built for next month in Cameroon. In foreign news, we told you that insecurity and armed conflict have exposed media workers to growing threats, arrest and intimidation as attacks on journalists are on the rise in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And in sports, the indomitable Lions of Cameroon have been defeated by Australia 1-0 at the Accor Stadium in Sydney. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for being with us today on this edition of News Hour. Catch you next week for another fresh edition. Remember to stay tuned to more interesting programs on Royal Television. News Hour today has been a production of Gunyi Sonita, technical assistance from David Titango, presented by me, Frida Leina, and general supervision from Malaji Bubasali. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Hey, you already know it's your #1 street king, Big J Baba. Hello, bro. Yes, bro. Have a Oman Jody. Hello, bro. Yes, bro. Have a Royal TV Day. Keep watching Royal TV, the best of the best.
Hello, my proud nation. This is your favorite girl, Mbeng Lilian, popularly known as Taro Abonglesong. Please keep watching Royal TV. And of course, follow my programs because all my comedy